Hey guys, it's Penguin here, and welcome back to another gold making video. Now this video is going to be a longer video and might be a little bit boring to some of you. But in today's video, what I have done is kind of recorded my daily or morning routine of what I generally do, when gold making throughout the day. So what I do when I first log in, kind of my priorities, my thought process, all of that. Now, like I said, because this is really just recording exactly what I do, I completely understand that this is not going to be for everybody, and if you're looking for just tips and tricks, come back next week, and hopefully one of those videos will be more your style. But if you're somebody who, let's say, you can't always make it to a live stream, where, I'm actively restocking and selling stuff, then maybe this video can help you out, kind of show you exactly what goes through my mind whenever I'm restocking and crafting and all of that, and maybe you'll pick up on some tips or some just unique things that I do along the way. As always, this video is not to show you, this is what you have to do. This is just my personal preference, and I completely understand if people do not like the way I restock or craft anything, and of course, compare it, and feel free to let me know exactly how you run your operation in the comments down below. But as always, I do hope you enjoy this video, and it's a little bit entertaining for the people who do want to see kind of the background of what goes on day to day, outside of my videos. But thank you guys so much for watching. I would love if you enjoy these videos, if you could like and possibly subscribe if you want to see more. It does help me out a lot, and we're gonna go right into this video. Also, sorry, one more disclaimer. Some of these parts of these videos were recorded basically right when I woke up or an hour after I woke up, so I apologize if I'm not as energetic or anything like that, but here we go. Alright, so I have just logged in for the first time today. It is currently 10:25 a.m., so it's actually a little bit later compared to when I normally log in. But the first thing that I will do is basically just post everything that's expired. As you can see, right now things are still expiring. It really just depends on how late I play, the following night. But if we open the mailbox, we are greeted with 471 mail, which means that we probably have a lot of expires, and most of the time it's also novice gear, just because I craft a ton of it. Well, novice gear in any sort of crafter's marks. So I will open up the timer, I will start it, and I will get to collecting all the expires and posting it up. I believe it takes about 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how much there is, but we will figure that out after this, and I'll be back after all the posting. Alright, and there we go. We have officially posted all of our expires. It took us basically, 11 and a half minutes in order to empty out of that mail, so honestly, not that bad. If we look though, we are going to get about another, few mail in about 30 minutes. It mostly seems to be enchants and other stuff, but that will happen soon. The next thing that I like to do, well, first of all, I will make sure to uncheck rank 1 to 3 legendaries, as well as the crafter's marks, as those are things that I don't actually cancel scan, so this sets me up for, later on. Now, this is when my day gets a little bit different each day. The reason for that is a lot of times I like to live stream, especially in the afternoons, about 1 to 2 p.m. my time is when I like to start. So I will keep the restocking, for then, so there's something to do on stream. Also, I tend to post my old world and my pets on stream as well, so generally I post those for 24 hours, so they're not really expired at this time. Right now it's still only 10:40 a.m. So what I will do is, if there's any necessary big restocks, I might take the time to do it. However, today I'm not actually live streaming, so we can go ahead and, get that started. One thing that I've started to do recently, which we're going to do real quick, is I've started to try to use my mission table. Mission tables are a great way to make gold, especially if you have a ton of them, but I've just started to experiment with it, and by no means is this like the best way to do it, but I've just started it and I have a very baby table, but we're just going to do that real quick. As you can see, my adventure progress is only 8, so I definitely have a long way to go. But before I forget, because if I don't do it one day, it's never going to happen again, we have all that selected up, and then we're just going to calculate some more. Alright, so we have everything posted up. We also got a companion, which is pretty cool. Very, very awesome. But now this is when we can start restocking. So first of all, if you guys are interested, this profile that I'm using can be found for free in the Discord. So feel free to join the Discord if you want to use this exact same profile. But what I generally do is go through here and kind of select what I want to look at. So the first thing I do is I always kind of do a full stock of legendaries, and so actually I don't have that many out of stock, or that many in the profitable range, but we're going to do that. Then I go down here and select a handful of things I want to restock. So I normally do optional reagents, alchemy, cooking, enchanting, inscription I do on a second account, so I'm not going to worry about that, and then we'll do leatherworking. Clicking restock, a ton of stuff will come up. However, since this is the free profile, I go through here and kind of filter things. Basically, I know a lot of these potions that I actually am never going to, actually craft. They're just not worth it for me. So I will remove those from the list. Secondly, I wait until everything is kind of out of stock before restocking, just because my server is pretty slow, as it's a medium pop. So even though, yes, I craft these hidden spirits, I'm not going to go to my way to only craft 5. Same thing for the strength, and then I'm also going to get rid of that one. So we're only left with the phantom fire. Same thing goes with cooking. Yet again, this is just the base version of the profile because I like to troubleshoot things. Of course, I can do this way better if I actually go through here and only select what I want, but it only takes a second to kind of select through, and honestly, a lot of times, I'm only restocking feast, to be honest. All enchants are fine with me. Jewel crafting seems fine. Leatherworking, the only thing I won't restock is the normal armor kits, because I have the heavy ones, and that is basically our queue. Now, I will say, I don't really craft 200 feast at once. I normally only keep actually like 100, so I'm going to bring that down to 60. Just personal preference. But that means we have the queue for this first time, and it's going to take us 17 minutes. Now, another thing I will like to do is I will add in novice gear as well as 233 gear. I like to do 262 separately. It's just a personal preference. Technically, I could probably do it all at the same time, but I will add these in, hit restock, and we have a few added. But yes, I kind of go through that. Now, of course, I could select everything at once, but I kind of like to do it in stages. So now, the restocking begins. Normally, the first thing I do is just knock out enchanting, because it's pretty easy. I don't think I have anything I need for enchanting. There we go. So we'll just hit craft next, and, we'll restock everything that we need. Now, like I said before, I am on a medium pop server, so my profit margins are pretty good. You can probably see that I'm not restocking huge quantities though, and that's generally because a lot of things are just slower. Alright, so enchanting is done, and as you can see, we need quite a lot of stuff to finish off our tailoring and cooking. The first thing that I'm going to do is, because I didn't do it before, is I like to collect my gold. There's really no reason behind this, but I like to save up all of my gold from the previous day just to be able to loot it and kind of get a feel about how that day was. Yesterday was Tuesday, which means it was reset day. However, I did not focus on cancel scanning, and I was actually doing time walking dungeons during prime time, and I just didn't have a lot of time to play. So we have a very baby amount of sales, not very anything extravagant, but it's alright. We did get what we needed to get done yesterday. But we'll loot this up real quick. And it looks like it's going to be about 300 to 400k. There we go. we looted 333k. So nothing exciting, but that's what we have. Also, some of those expires are coming in, so we'll loot that up real fast as well. And to speed up all the other expires process, if we run a cancel scan, most likely a lot of those will be undercut and, we'll be able to refresh them ourselves. All right, we have about 50 items. Let's see if we can get through this without hitting throttle. It would be very awesome if we could. Sometimes it doesn't always happen though. Awesome, we were able to do it. We can repost everything that we have in our inventory. Now my inventory is pretty cluttered at the moment. That is generally just because I have a ton of materials. I generally like to, throw it all in the bank, but haven't been to Ouroboros lately. So I just have a ton of items in the inventory right now, but sometimes I try to keep it a little bit cleaner. And there we go. We now have everything posted. We might have a few things that are about to expire, but everything is kind of good to go. So, took me a little bit, but we have a restock queue ready. We have, everything reposted, and now we can just focus fully on that restock. Now, like I said earlier, I like to go by character, and since we're on the, tailorer already, and cooking toon, we can already do that. So if we look, we need quite a lot of things. Now, this is where, yet again, it gets to personal preference. I am somebody who doesn't like to use TSM shopping list. I know it makes your life a whole lot easier, but I'm just somebody who is not a big fan of it. I'm waiting for, the revamp of it. So I personally like to buy everything manually. At the end of the day, it completely comes down to personal preference. You could probably do this way faster, but, it just comes down to you. So I will go through here and manually search up the items, type in what I need, and, move on. At this rate, now, this is when it gets a little bit complicated. For example, as you know, the market value is at 17 gold, but this unit price is at 22, so I will have to go through here and see if it's worth it. Each feast right now is making an insane total of about 200 gold profit, so I will overpay for this just a little bit. Actually, seems like I don't even have to worry about it that much. I accidentally typed 1600 instead of 600, so yet again, you wouldn't have this issue if you used the shopping list, but we're going to move on. We have the pike. We're going to be overpaying just a little bit, but I will overpay for that. Then we have the piranha, which is super cheap on my server. Don't have to worry about that at all. Then we have the ribs, yet again, being super cheap. And we are good. We'll just loot those up. Awesome. Now we need some vendor items. There we go. And lastly, we need to do some crafts. We need 4 novice marks. We need 4 vestige of the Eternals, which seems we're going to run out of penumbra thread. Let's grab some. Whoops. There we go. Craft up those 4. And anything else? Alright, so we do need to craft some enchanted lightless silk, which generally I will AFK a bunch of this. It seems like I've just ran out, but we need 210. That'll take us about 5 minutes of crafting, so we just have to wait a little bit. Alright, one more craft to go. There we go. Now we have everything we need for tailoring and cooking. So we'll just do the easy part first, which is tailoring. And there we go. Now, the best thing is that yesterday night I actually got the cooking hat, the chef's hat. You can find it, the previous video to this one, you will see how to actually get this hat. But basically, it increases your cooking speed by a ton. So instead of this taking a very, very long time, it's actually going to only take 30 seconds to craft these feast, which is very, very nice. I used to be AFK crafting food for probably like 10 minutes a day, so it's very, very nice to, finally get that break. Perfect, there we go, and we can just quickly post this stuff up on the auction house. Actually, we need to restock or reselect these groups because we just crafted some novice mark gear. Awesome, so we have 3 professions down, just going to deselect those. And now I will basically just log on to all of my other characters and just do the exact same thing that I did. I'm not going to record every single little thing because it's going to be a very, very long video if I do that, but hopefully that little bit of a tailoring and cooking restock kind of gives you an example of what I do. Now I will say, because a few people ask, I do have gold spread out on all of my crafters, so most of the time I will just buy the items needed on that crafter, unless I have it, of course, stored somewhere else. So yes, my leatherworker needs, heavy desolate leather. I will probably just go ahead and go buy that on the leatherworker instead of trying to buy it here and sending it over. Now it does also need penumbra thread and lightless silk, so I will actually, do that here. Since I have the rep, I can buy it at 7.2 gold, and also it says I only need about 268, but I will generally buy, maybe 1,000 just to, not have to do this process again, kind of stocking up for the future. But I'll have those. It says I need a little bit of lightless silk. Once again, I'll just send over a lot more than needed just to kind of prep for the future. We'll send over all of that. And so now whenever I look and actually log on to my leatherworker, I'll be basically set to go. If we check out the blacksmith, we do need essentia. I do have that on this toon, so I will send that over since I already have it. And then lastly, I'll check out the alchemist. Now the alchemist, I will just buy those herbs on the alchemist itself. However, since I'm here, might as well pick up some vials and send it over. I think right now my alchemist is actually in Old Draenor due to the chef's hat, so sending over the vials will actually help him out. And there we go. So now I will just log on to all of those toons, buy the rest of everything I need, and then craft all this. Technically, it says I'll have about 14 minutes of crafting time, but with buying everything and all that, it'll probably take me 15 to 20 minutes in order to actually finish this all up. But it is about 11 a.m. my time, and this is when I normally take my dog for a walk and, maybe make some lunch and stuff, so I will catch up with y'all whenever I log back in this afternoon, whenever I take my little break. But as we could see, we haven't really done any sort of cancel scanning. We did it once right when we logged in, and we're still getting a few sales. Nothing crazy, but we are getting some sales, which is very nice to see. But actually, for good measure, right before I leave for my break for a little bit, we can go ahead and do one more cancel scan. Not that much, mostly legendaries, which is pretty standard. Also, there's not a ton of people online at the moment because it is pretty early. But every single cancel scan counts, so we'll loot this up. We'll also grab that expire, and we'll post these before we head off. And there we go. We are good to go. Did those war scrolls post up? It seems like they did. Yep, alright, so we don't have to worry about those. Sometimes they're a little finicky with pricing, but seems like they worked. We can take a quick scan to look at any deals on the auction house. I don't really see any, to be honest. Yeah, everything is still a little bit inflated due to last night being reset day, but there we go. I'm gonna log off, make some lunch, take care of my dog, and I will be back and see you guys back here whenever I get back on WoW. Alright, so I am back on. It is about 1:40 p.m. my time, so I was gone for about, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Now, I will say that I have already completed the crafting queue, so I probably logged on about 20 minutes ago or so, and I just kind of finished up that crafting queue, and I have sent it to the mailbox. So we can go ahead and loot all of this. As you can see, we have gotten sales when we were gone. Nothing crazy, as we haven't really been cancel scanning. We also have a few expires. Probably just, yeah, low ranks. But this is everything that I sent over. And we have a nice 37k in the mailbox, which I won't complain about. But we'll grab this all up, and then we will throw it onto the auction house. There we go. If we take a look real fast, we also have some sales. Nothing spectacular. Looks like we sold bags. A lot of 233s, which is very nice to see. A very nice 262 sale. But we'll go ahead and post this up and put this back on the market. But that is kind of what I do for restocking. Now, it doesn't look the same every single day. Some days I'm logging on, you know, at 11 a.m., 9 a.m. Sometimes this would be the first time I'm logging on. So, you know, it might be 2 p.m. So it really just depends. And then, of course, you know, it depends on how active I was the day before. I kind of talked about how yesterday I wasn't super active. So not a lot of things sold. So just not a very big restock. So it just kind of depends on the day. So everything can look a little bit unique. But we have everything posted up, and now we can just wait for sales, and probably the rest of the day, whenever I have time, I'm going to be cancel scanning, and of course, if I sell out of anything, then I'll quickly do another restock. But that is kind of my like daily or morning routine for restocking and posting all of that. But we can go ahead and show you everything else that I do at least once per day. So I talked about it before, how I kind of save my old world stuff for on stream. Not streaming today, and I think it's already expired, so we can go ahead and check that out. But this is my old world toon, and so I have actually 4 bank toons. This is the second one, and this has everything crafted old world. So this can be crafted transmog, this can be, you know, old world enchants, old world potions, old world basically anything, or it might be random items that I've gotten from an event, stuff like that. So I post this stuff for 24 hours every single day and just let it expire. So sometimes I'm not always 24 hours on the dot, but I think it's been long enough. Let's see. There we go. Yes, we have. Looks like today we might not actually have any sales. Sometimes that happens with old world, but you know, we'll go ahead and get this all posted up. Alright, so this is the last little bit that we are going to be posting up. And we only got 2 sales, very baby sales. We only got about 100 gold, but that's alright. The last few days, the sales have been pretty good. I've been able to sell, I think the biggest thing is that I think I was the only person who was posting the Crusader enchant. And so I actually got a sale for 35,000 gold, which is super insane. But nothing exciting today, but that's alright. Now, a few people ask me how often do I restock my old world, and that kind of depends. I have to admit that I don't do it often, and I don't do it as much as I should, but I try to do it at least once every 2 weeks or so, but I probably should at least try to do it once a week. I'm just kind of lazy. But that took us maybe 5 minutes or so. We have it all posted up, and now we can move on to pets. And so right now I do pets on about 6 different servers. Nothing insane, I'm not a huge pet seller, but I do like it in order to get some gold to flip on other servers. And similar to old world, I post these for 24 hours, and I just kind of leave them alone. So nothing insane with pet sales, but I try my best to post them every day. So that is what we're going to do now. Like I said, I do this on about 6 different servers, so it's probably going to take maybe 10 minutes, including all that loading time, in order to post this all up. Alright, so I actually just logged over to my other server, and it seems like I actually still have 40 or 50 minutes left, so I have to come back and do all my cross-roam pets in an hour. Sometimes it happens like that, but it's alright. Also, one thing that I do want to mention is, I've talked about this in a previous video, but I really like the Katie's stamp whistle. Basically, it's a portable mailbox that has a 3-hour cooldown and lasts for 10 minutes. So, what I really like about that is that any character can use it. So, on all of my cross-realm characters, I only check this character every 24 hours. So, what I'll do is I'll log in. I have this to Shift R, so I just click it, comes down, I can loot my mail, and then immediately post, and it just saves the time from having to walk over. Of course, I do have the Brutosaur, but in cases like this, I'm in an alliance faction. I guess it technically doesn't matter. I could go Horde if I wanted to, but I have no allied race for alliance, so this just kind of, causes me not to have to level up in order to use the Bruto, and it just kind of saves time. So, highly recommend getting that toy, just so it can make your cross-realm and your Bang Toons life much easier. But that is kind of it for this, daily routine for the rest of the day, and this will vary from day to day. Sometimes I'll have 2 hours, sometimes I'll have 4 hours, maybe this is all I can do. But I will sit on my character, cancel scan as much as possible, restock what I need to do, and that is basically it. Of course, hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea of, what goes through my head whenever I'm making gold, and hopefully this can maybe give you some suggestions if you're struggling a little bit. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry this is probably a long video, and it's a lot of talking, but hopefully this gives you a little bit more insight to my day-to-day, and yeah, happy gold making everybody, and as always, have a good day.